I believe that this country's policies should be heavily biased in favor of non-discrimination. I believe when you tell people they can't do certain things in this country that other people can do, there ought to be an overwhelming and compelling reason for it. The policy I am announcing today is, in my judgment, the right thing to do and the best way to do it. It is right because it provides greater protection to those who happen to be homosexual and want to serve their country honorably in uniform, obeying all the military's rules against sexual misconduct. It is the best way to proceed because it provides a sensible balance between the rights of the individual and the needs of our military to remain the world's #1 fighting force.
The President consulted with his Joint Chiefs of Staff and indicated to us, as the President of all Americans and as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, that he wanted to modify this policy. And he asked us to go study it. He didn't change it on the spot. He asked us to go study it with a goal toward showing a little more flexibility with respect to that policy.
Don't tell us not to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Don't ask, don't tell us not to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Don't ask, don't tell us not to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Don't ask, don't tell us not to go, okay. Ho, ho. Don't ask, don't tell us not to go.
The notion that we're all created equal, that no matter who you are or what you look like, if you abide by the law, you should be protected by it. If you adhere to our common values, you should be treated no different than anyone else. We must continually renew this promise. This year, I will work with Congress and our military to finally repeal the law that denies gay Americans the right to serve the country they love because of who they are. It's the right thing to do.
The mandate of this working group is to thoroughly, objectively, and methodically examine all aspects of this question and produce its finding and recommendations in the form of an implementation plan by the end of this calendar year.
I'm here because don't ask, don't tell is wrong. It's unjust. And fundamentally, it is against all that we stand for as Americans.
I continue to urge my colleagues to reject this effort to short-circuit the process endorsed by Department of Defense leaders, not by the service chiefs, a process that was supposed to inform us with one that merely ratifies a politically driven decision. It would be a mistake to ignore the views of our troops and the military advice of the service chiefs, and for the Senate to act prematurely to repeal the current Don't Ask, Don't Tell law for the sake of fulfilling a political promise.
Basically, it's ordering the military to suspend or discontinue any investigation, any discharge that was started under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. The Pentagon is right now compiling the results of a massive survey that they did of hundreds of thousands of troops, trying to gauge their opinions on it. And that's really what the Obama administration, Pentagon, are waiting for, December 1st, when they get those results back.
But in summary, a strong majority of those who answered the survey, more than 2/3, do not object to gays and lesbians serving openly in uniform. The findings suggest that for large segments of the military, repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, though potentially disruptive in the short term, would not be the wrenching, traumatic change that many have feared and predicted. The data also shows that within the combat arms specialties and units, there is a higher level of discontent, of discomfort, and resistance to changing the current policy. The majority of concerns often raised in association with the repeal, dealing with sexual conduct, fraternization, billeting arrangements, marital or survivor benefits, could be governed by existing laws and regulations. Existing policies can and should be applied equally to homosexuals as well as heterosexuals. The concerns of combat troops as expressed in the survey do not present an insurmountable barrier to successful repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. This can be done and should be done without posing a serious risk to military readiness.
On the question before us, the yeas are 65, the nays 31. The motion to concur in the House Amendment to Senate Amendment to House Resolution 2965 is adopted.